If it's Friday night, oh yes it is. Strictly Sports NFL Friday. Hello friends, it's Anthony Florio here with you for another edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. Glad to have you with us. I'm afraid I do have some bad news. Good old MF Michael Fletcher will not be joining us tonight. I'm guessing it's because of work commitments beyond his control. He informed me just a short time ago that he will not be joining us tonight. So I do apologize for the slight delay. I was having a very brief technical issue on my end, but thankfully that's been taken care of, and hopefully it will not be a bother for this throughout this broadcast tonight. I am joined, however, by Michael Bullock. So the Yes Movement will be running the show at least for tonight. Hopefully, MF will be back with us tomorrow night for for our TLC preview edition of the Wrestling Forum as we get ready for the WWE TLC event on Sunday night. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Of course, last night the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings kicked off Week 13, and what a game they had at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The Cowboys with a 17-15 win. And they have now won 11 consecutive games after that opening loss to the Giants. So, Michael Bullock, a quick thought. Let's get a quick thought from you on that, and then we'll dive into the rest of Week 13.
Yeah, this is a game where I can definitely say the defense definitely dominated this game. And as we always like to, for all you defensive gurus, a la Michael Fletcher, if you love defense, well, this was the game for you. And you got to give credit to the Minnesota Vikings defense. They kept this team in the game, and there was a time that it looked like they were gonna somehow pull it off, but the Dallas defense certainly stepped it up. I thought as we take a look at the stats here, of course, 124 total passing yards and 140 rushing yards for the when it came to the Cowboys. The Vikings they led overall in passing with 231, but the thing is, and they also the Vikings also dominated the time of possession and created more turnovers, but somehow Dallas got it done. Dak Prescott, not his best game, with 139 yards passing. Ezekiel Elliott with a nice game with 86 yards rushing, and Des Bryant with 84 yards receiving and a touchdown reception. And and of course for the Vikings, the running game was non-existent, and to me, this is a game that Minnesota really needed if they were going to keep their playoff hopes alive. And now they're 6-6, and the only way they're going to be in the to remain in the playoff chase, they got to win out the rest of their games. And Dallas won. Now all they need is a Washington loss or a Tampa Bay loss, and they'll be the first team to clinch a playoff spot. And I even heard that next week, or maybe in a couple of weeks, they could possibly have the home field advantage wrapped up. So obviously it's looking like the road to Super Bowl 51 is going to go through Jerry's world. So a nice win for Dallas, certainly a defensive battle. So Florio, your thoughts on this match?
I'm just so impressed with the Dallas Cowboys right now. say what you want about them, but my goodness, I mean, what this team is doing right now, I mean, they are looking like the odds-on favorite in the NFC, and also they could be the odds-on favorite to win it all. I mean, for the first time in 20 years. I mean, it's been 20 years since this team last won a Super Bowl. Soon to be 21 years because it was Super Bowl 30, and Dak Prescott continues to impress. Ezekiel Elliott continues to impress, and Minnesota gave them a game. We knew they would, but it was just not enough. And they went for two, and Sam Bradford with a horrific throw, and
yeah, but there's, to me, on that hit, I think there should have been a face mask penalty.
Yeah, there was definitely a bad call in the game last night. And
but then again, I noticed this morning.
I really don't know what else there is to say.
I even noticed Florio, but I think the Minnesota player
yet again, and it gets in the way, and
yeah,
I don't know, but
yeah, it is what it is, Florio.
Something has to be done about it, and I mean, there has to be something really needs to be done about it, really. I mean, but we're not going to get into it. So, but we'll see what happens. But for right now, Dallas gets the win. They've won 11 in a row, 17-15, and all there is to say on that. Also, we before we finally dive in, we do have we got a couple of games to keep an eye on for you all. Of course, you know where I'm going with this because we talked about them last night on our season finale of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday, and those games, of course, being the MAC championship game with Western Michigan and Ohio, and of course the Pac-12 championship. That's at halftime in Washington with a 14-7 lead on Colorado. And in the MAC championship has gone final, and Western Michigan defeats Ohio 29-23 at Ford Field. So Western Michigan wins the MAC, and it looks like bigger and better things on the horizon for the Broncos. 13-0, and the Huskies and the Buffaloes, it's 14-7 Washington. That game is at halftime, and as soon as that gets back up and underway, we'll keep an eye out for it, and we'll have Bullock give you any updates that come in. So with that being said, now let's dive in to week 13 of this NFL season, and believe it or not, we have two teams on bye this week. Those two teams being the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. And other than that, that's it. And of course, Dallas and Minnesota played last night. So now let's get into our first matchup of the week. A game that'll be broadcast on CBS. It will be the Kansas City Chiefs squaring off against the Atlanta Falcons in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. This game will be broadcast on CBS. And on the call for CBS, it'll be Greg Gumbel with Trent Green and Jamie Erdahl. They will be in the Georgia Dome for the Chiefs and the Vikings. And the spread favors the Atlanta Falcons. 5 to 5.5 points is that spread. And the series history favors the Kansas City Chiefs 5-3. Last meeting was 2012 in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Falcons all over the Chiefs 40-24. Last meeting in Atlanta was in 2008. The Falcons also won that. That was 38-14. So they've won the last two meetings. And the last time the Chiefs won in the Georgia Dome, got to go all the way back to 1994. That was a 30-10 beatdown back when Joe Montana was running things. And so that was a 5-3 advantage for KC. And the game rater. What did our FPI NFL game rater rate this game? Number 3. It's our number 3 game of the week. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons. The Chiefs at number 4 and the Falcons at number 3 square off in this week's only matchup of FPI top 5 efficient teams. The Chiefs are 4-point underdogs according to FPI, their largest disadvantage in any game this season. Kansas City won a wild and rather bizarre contest last Sunday night in Denver, a game that took almost all of overtime to do so. It was a key win in a tough divisional race, but here on the road against a strong Atlanta offense, I'm not that confident that we will see another road victory here. So needless for me to say, I have the Atlanta Falcons winning this game. My final score is 28-24. Atlanta wins. Matt Ryan will have another big game. The usual suspects, Julio Jones and Kevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman. They'll all have big games. And there's one other young man that we need to keep an eye on because he had a huge game last week, and that is Taylor Gabriel. Watch out for this young man because he had a humongous game last time out for the Falcons, and he could be a difference maker yet again this week. So Arizona, and he had a big game against them. So that's another weapon you got to watch out for. Alex Smith should have a fine game for KC. Spencer Ware, Kelsey, and Macklin and them, but with this game being in Atlanta and with the Falcons, starting, when the Falcons playing well again, I just have to go with Atlanta for right now. So 28-24, Atlanta Falcons over the Kansas City Chiefs should be a great game. I wish we were getting it, but unfortunately we're not. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, Kansas City Chiefs against the Atlanta Falcons in the Georgia Dome. Our number 3 game of the week. This one should be a good one.
Oh, it should be a good one. First off, I got to give you my injury report. Of course, starting off with the Kansas City Chiefs, Dontari Poe with a back injury, Donald Ford with a hamstring injury, Justin Houston with a shoulder injury, and Jeremy Macklin with a groin injury. Those 4 are listed as questionable. And for the Falcons, Adrian Claiborne with a knee injury, he is out. So, yeah, what a win for Kansas City last week over Denver, going on the road to Denver and beating them in overtime and what I thought was a 5-star classic game and chock full of the absolute finest Shakespearean drama out there. And for a moment there, I thought we were going to get ourselves another tie, and that would have been a darn shame if that game ended in a tie. But no, they got the field goal to win it, but now they got to go on the road again and face a much more offensive Atlanta Falcons team. And I agree. I mean, as good as Kansas City is, but the thing is, the injuries to some of their key defensive players, how healthy will they be for this game? I just don't see how they can match up with the Falcons offense with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Devontae Freeman. So in a close one, I got Atlanta winning it. I'm going to say 31-28 is going to be my final score. So with that being said, let's move on to our next 1 o'clock game that I will lead off on, and it is the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. And I know Fletch is probably crushed that he's not going to be able to talk about this one.
Yeah, he's probably not. And good old MF Michael Fletcher not joining us tonight because of work commitments beyond his control. But we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for our TLC preview show. But nonetheless, let's get on into it here. Like Bullock said, our next matchup, it is indeed the Miami Dolphins going up against the Baltimore Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. This game also broadcast on CBS, and on the call for CBS, it'll be Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon. They'll be in Baltimore for the Dolphins and the Ravens. Spread favors the Baltimore Ravens. 3 to 3.5 points is that spread. Series history favors the Miami Dolphins. 6 to 5. Last meeting was a year ago in Miami. The Dolphins won that game by a score of 15 to 13, snapping a long losing streak to the Ravens, a 5-game losing streak to the Ravens, including a playoff game. The wild card game in 2008 that was played in January of 2009. Last meeting in Baltimore was in 2010. The Ravens won that 26 to 10. Probably asking, have the Dolphins ever won in Baltimore? Yes, they have. One time. And it was the very first meeting that these two teams ever had. And that was back in 1997. First time these two teams ever met. Dolphins won that 24 to 13. That's the only time they've ever won in Baltimore. And I don't think it was at M&T Bank Stadium, unless I'm wrong about that. But that was back in the days of Dan Marino and all them. So that's that. And before I give it to you, Bullock, where did the game rater rank this? I was very stunned with where they rated this game because I thought this game would have been rated much higher considering the matchup here. Number 13. Number 13. I am shocked.
I totally disagree with that.
Yeah, they're treating this like it's a Zonk game. It's not. It's really not.
Maybe they're not as impressed with the Ravens as we think they are.
Yeah. So, no, but nonetheless, it's number 13. So, Michael Bullock front and center with you. The Miami Dolphins, Michael Fletcher's team. They have been on a major hot streak as of late. They've won 5 in a row, 6 in a row, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, sort of in that range.
6. It's 6. They've won 6 in a row. And the Ravens, they were 3.
And I got to be quite honest. I think they're the second hottest team in the NFL.
I agree. And the Dolphins are definitely going to be within the top 5 of our power rankings. So, all right, Bullock, this is a big game when it comes to AFC wildcard playoff implications between both of these teams, even though the Ravens are in the thick of that AFC North race because they're right there with Pittsburgh. So, major implications here. An FPI game rater, I love and respect. I love and respect the efforts you find folks put in, but
this one they got it wrong.
For ranking this game as low as you guys did, I'm sorry, but you just made the list. Go ahead, Bullock.
And let's not forget they've met in the playoffs too. Let's not forget that. I think it was the 2008 season when they met in the playoffs, and of course Baltimore won that one. So. Yeah, as far as the injury report goes, Pouncey with the hip injury, he is listed as out. Wide receiver Devontae Parker with a back injury. Tackle Brandon Albert with a wrist injury. Tackle Laramie Tunsil with a shoulder injury, and Kiko Alonso with a hamstring injury. They're listed as questionable. Meanwhile, for the Baltimore Ravens, tight end Crockett Gilmore has a thigh injury. He's listed as out. And wide receiver Kamar Aiken with a thigh injury. He's listed as out as well. So, or should I say he's listed as questionable? Sorry about that. Yeah, what can you say about the Miami Dolphins, winners of 6 in a row? And I mean, yeah, they're still a couple of games back in the AFC East division race, and I'll tell you what, I mean, there's a good chance they could catch up to the Patriots, especially after the news that broke on the Patriots this week. We'll get into that when we talk about the Patriots, but yeah, I mean, the Ravens, I mean, yeah, they lead the division. I mean, it's a division that's it's up for anyone's to take, but to me, I gotta be quite honest. I like the Dolphins. They're better. They're hot on a hot tear right now. Like I said, 6 wins in a row, and I've been impressed with Ryan Tannehill with his play as of late. And yeah, so because of that, I gotta go with the Miami Dolphins to win this one. I'm gonna say 20-17 is gonna be my final score. Tannehill, I think, will have a solid game. Jarvis Landry will have a solid game, and I think Devontae Parker, if he plays, he'll make some big plays, and I think the defense will make just enough plays to stop Joe Flacco. The Ravens will definitely be in it, but I like the Dolphins here, so give me the Dolphins to win it. So, Florio, I give it to you.
The Miami Dolphins are on an AFC Best 6-game winning streak, but they are FPI favorites in only one of their remaining 5 games. FPI favors the Baltimore Ravens by 2.5 points, the closest matchup of the week. Somehow, some way, the Dolphins continue to win as they have now won 6 straight contests in a row. Ryan Tannehill has been putting in good work under center. Jay Ajayi has been good running the football, and this offense has done just enough to get the job done. But I'm sorry, Bullock, I got to respectfully disagree with you because I think that's going to end here going against one of the finer defenses in the league in that of the Ravens. You know, the Ravens had previously owned the Dolphins, and Baltimore is playing well again, and this game's in Baltimore. If the game was in Miami, maybe I would have gone with the Dolphins, but with this game being in Baltimore, I don't really think I can go with the Dolphins here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had won. No way, but I got to go with the Ravens here. My final score, 13-10. Baltimore beats Miami. I think Flacco's going to have a solid game, and I know the running game does need work, but, you know, it is what it is. You still got Steve Smith out there. You still got Mike Wallace out there, and that solid and that Raven defense, which is playing well again for the first time in a while. I think they're going to get Tannehill. I think they're going to shut down Ajayi. So, as much as I would love to see the Dolphins win it for Fletcher and his Dolphin family, you know, with Eric Carrier and some other folks in there, I'm sorry, folks. I got to go against you folks for this one time. Baltimore wins it. Like I said, my final score, 13-10. Should be an interesting matchup to say on that. So 13-10 in favor of the Baltimore Ravens. So let's move on to our next game. And oh boy, this is now, to say that this is the Zonk game of the week is a major understatement, because this is the Zonk game of the week. It doesn't get any worse, but it gets what it is. The San Francisco 49ers going up against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago. This game's going to be on Fox. And on the call for Fox, it'll be Kenny Albert, Daryl Moose Johnston, Laura Oakman. And like I said, this game's on Fox. And San Francisco, a 1 to 2 point favorite in this one. Series history is even, 30-30, with a tie. That one tie came back in 1966 in Chicago. They played to a 30-30 tie. Their last meeting was a year ago in Chicago, and the 49ers won that 26-20 in overtime. And the Bears' last win against the Niners was in 2014. That was a 28-20 win in San Francisco. Last time the Bears won at home against the Niners, got to go back to 2006. That was a 41-10 beatdown. That was the year, of course, that Chicago Bears went on to the Super Bowl, only to lose to the Indianapolis Colts on that rainy night in Miami. And the game raider, well, if I gave away the spoiler alert, you already know where this is heading. Yes, indeed, it is the Zonk game of the week. The Chicago Bears are favored by 2.5 points, according to FPI, their second largest advantage of the game this season. The San Francisco 49ers are looking to end their franchise record 10-game losing streak. What a horrific football matchup, unless you're a fan of games determining draft positioning. Neither team has won in a while, albeit Chicago much more recently. But they have both been relatively competitive in recent weeks. But I do like what the 49ers have been doing as of late. And I think that Colin Kaepernick has played well under Chip Kelly. And there is a chance that they could break the losing streak here. But if they can do that, I mean, I got to check and see who I had in the Pigskin Pick'em. I mean, because I don't remember who I went with. Chicago to win this game based on the consensus. and I think that's where I went. So let me just check that real quick for you folks. Yes, I have the Chicago Bears winning this game. 63% to 37% in favor of the Chicago Bears. I mean, I can't go against that. I think that's a good margin. I know Bullock's going to have some injury news for us in just a moment about the notable players for Chicago, like Jay Cutler and whatnot. I know Cutler's been battling an injury bug. I don't know if that's going to mean Hoyer's going to be starting for him. But Niners are a god-awful mess. I mean, even though Kaepernick's been playing well, they just haven't been able to find any W's. And especially with this game being in Chicago, I just think the Bears are the better team, right? Or a smidgen better. I mean, both of these teams are god-awful. And I'm just glad we're not getting this game. Because if we were, I would have been going on a major tirade. But thankfully, that's not the case because nobody wants to see this game. And I mean, except for those diehard fans of both teams. But
I'd be going on a profane tirade.
No, you don't have to worry, Bullock. We're not getting this game. Thankfully, your team is the reason why. Patriot game here, and that's going to be on Fox, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But whether it's Brian Hoyer or Jay Cutler, I think one of them will have a solid game. Jordan Howard, this incredible young running back who, Jeremy Langford. I mean, he has had some very good games this season, and Alshon Jeffrey in the receiving core, and I think the defense will make just enough plays to get a win. So until I see otherwise from the Niners, I can't in good conscience go with them. I'm going with the Chicago Bears to win this game. My final score, 20-17. So, Michael Bullock, very simply put, who do you like in our Zonk game of the week?
Well, just a quick update on the injury report. Guard Josh Sitton for the Bears is questionable, and of course, quarterback Jay Cutler is out, and not really big names on the 49ers, so I'm just going to make it short and sweet. Chicago Bears are going to win this one, so I'm not going to waste any more time on this nonsense, but let's just move on to our next game, which is the Eagles and the Bengals.
That's right, and you'll be starting off on that, Bullock. Like Michael Bullock said, our next matchup, Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. This game will also be broadcast on Fox. And on the call for Fox, it will be Tom Brenneman with Charles Davis and Peter Schrager. They will be in Cincinnati, and spread actually favoring the Cincinnati Bengals, 1 to 1.5. One other spread I have has it as a pick'em game. And the series history favors the Cincinnati Bengals 8-3 with one tie. Of course, that one tie, ironically, came in the last meeting they had in Cincinnati. That was back in 2008. They played to a 13-13 tie. You remember how Donovan McNabb was like, I didn't know games could end in a tie. Yeah, remember that nonsense? Yeah. The last overall meeting was 2012 in Philadelphia, and the Bengals won that one 34-13. Philly, here's an interesting situation here. The Philadelphia Eagles have never won in Cincinnati. Never won in Cincinnati. The 2008 meeting ended in a tie. Last time the Bengals won at home against the Eagles, 1994. That was a 33-30 win for Cincinnati. That was a high-scoring shootout, five-star classic of a game there. That was at the old Riverfront Stadium, Synergy Field. Do you remember that, where the Bengals and the Reds used to play back in the day? So that was back in 94. And where does the Game Rater rate this matchup between Philly and Cincinnati? Number 7. This game cracked the top 10 at number 7. So Bullock, Philadelphia Eagles coming off of a tough loss on Monday night to Green Bay. Cincinnati, of course, another tough loss for them. They lost at Baltimore against the Ravens, and boy, howdy, I guess it's safe to say the Bengals are back to being the Bungles again, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're definitely back to being the Bungles of old. So yeah, and when it comes to the injury report for the Eagles, of course, running back Ryan Matthews with a knee injury is out, and wide receiver Jordan Matthews with an ankle injury is listed as questionable. For the Bengals, of course, AJ Green's still out with that hamstring injury. So yeah, yep, the Bengals are back to being the Bungles, and of course, the Eagles coming off that tough loss, and yeah, I think this is a game that the Eagles could definitely win here, and I got them winning this one. I'm going to say 28 to 14 is going to be my final score. Carson Wentz will have a solid game, and yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. So that being said, Floria, let's just move on to our next game, which is the Texans and the Packers.
Well, I got to give my thoughts
Oh
first.
yeah, that's right. That's right. You gotta talk about it.
The Philadelphia Eagles have outscored opponents by 41 points this season, the biggest point differential by a team with a losing record. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Bengals have lost their past 3 games by a combined 10 points. This game is a tough one to pick because both teams are sliding, and while one is out of the playoff picture in Cincinnati, the other is fast falling out of it in the Eagles as they have lost 6 out of their last 8 games. There is a chance the Bengals could get a nice win here behind what could be a solid performance out of Andy Dalton in the offense, but let's be realistic. I don't see that happening. I agree with Bullock. I got Philadelphia winning. Pick'em agrees. It's almost a 3-1 spread on that to the tune of 74%. 74% like Philadelphia, only 26% going with Cincinnati. That's a good enough margin for me. I got to go with Philly. I mean, I'm expecting a big game from Carson Wentz, Jordan Matthews, and the rest of that offense. I mean, I think they can do just enough. Plus, Cincinnati was I don't. Did you say AJ Green was playing, Bullock? I got a little sidetracked on that injury report.
No, he's out.
He's out. Okay, and that just confirms it. So now that Bullock said AJ Green is out, yeah, I mean, how can Cincinnati pull off a win even though they're at home? And Philly's never won there. But I think there's a first time for everything. I think Philadelphia finally gets that first win in Cincinnati. So, but I do think Andy Dalton will have a solid game, though. You still got Helen Bernard, you still got Tyler Eifert, but without your big game playmaker in Green, I can't see them winning this game. And besides, they're back to being the Bungles again anyway. They'll keep it close, but I think Philadelphia ultimately wins 17-14. Philadelphia over Cincinnati in this matchup. So that's really all there is to say on that. So, like Bullock said, our next matchup, he is correct on it. It is the Houston Texans squaring off against the Green Bay Packers. This game will be at the legendary Lambeau Field, or I wonder if it's the Frozen Tundra yet. I think it will be the Frozen Tundra of Lambeau Field. This game will be broadcast on CBS, and working the game for CBS, believe it or not. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, they will be at Lambeau for the Texans and the Packers. And the spread favors the Green Bay Packers 6.5 to 7 points. Series history favors the Green Bay Packers 2-1. The road teams won every meeting in this series. Last meeting was 2012 in Houston. Packers rolled over the Texans 42-24. I believe that was on a Sunday night game, as I recall. Their only other meeting in Lambeau was in 2008, and the Houston Texans actually stole that one by a score of 24-21. And where did the Game Rater rate this matchup with the Texans and the Packers? It came in at number 12. Number 12. The Houston Texans are one of 2 teams, along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that have a winning record despite a negative point differential. FPI favors the Green Bay Packers in all 5 of their final games of the season. Time is running out for the Packers, but they got a win they desperately needed on Monday night in Philadelphia, thanks to a tremendous performance from their defensive line, quality performance from Aaron Rodgers. They still have some pretty clear flaws, but they should have their confidence back. Houston is lucky that their division is a joke because their offense is just so bad. Give me Green Bay at Lambeau. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I got the Green Bay Packers winning this game. My final score, 20-13. I do think Aaron Rodgers will have another solid game. The running game does need work. Eddie Lacy's absence definitely hurts them, but Starks is more than capable. And remember, they also got Kristen Michael from Seattle. The receiving core, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Richard Rodgers. As we approach the 1-year anniversary, I can't believe it's already been 1 year. I feel like we just had this happen yesterday. It was a year ago that Aaron Rodgers completed one of the greatest Hail Marys of all time on a Thursday night in Detroit against the Lions. And a game that Bullock and I had so much fun with. I mean, I'll never forget it. I mean, we dubbed ourselves our own version of the Rodgers connection. And boy, did we have a lot of fun with that. So a nice little memory to share here on NFL Friday. So that, I can't believe it's already been a year. My goodness. But Houston's offense is just awful. Osweiler, I think he'll have an okay game. Nothing really special. Same for Lamar Miller and Will Fuller. But Green Bay, I think Green Bay's got their firepower back, and this is a perfect opponent to take advantage of it and get back to 500 and narrowly stay in the NFC playoff chase. So I'm going with the Packers. My final score, 20-13. So, Michael Bullock, let's bring you back in. Houston, Green Bay, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Packers got that big win on Monday night. Are the Packers back or what?
Yeah, that was a big win for the Packers Monday night. They really needed that win to keep their playoff hopes alive. As far as the injury report, when it comes to the Texans, of course, wide receiver Jalen Strong is out with an ankle injury. Running back Alfred Blue with a calf injury. Defensive end Jadeveon Clowney with an elbow injury. And linebacker Brian Cushing with a back injury. They're listed as questionable. For the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers is listed as questionable with an ankle injury. So, but I still think he's going to play in this game. And yeah, Houston's offense is terrible. Brock Osweiler, I think they really overpaid him. He's not the franchise quarterback that they think he was going to be. I mean, yeah, you still got Lamar Miller and DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, the Packers, I just like them better. So I got the Packers winning this one. 31-14 is going to be my final score. So that being said, let's move on to our next game, which is the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, that is indeed right. The Denver Broncos going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Everbank Field in Jacksonville. Yes, and on the call for CBS, it'll be Spiro Dedes and Solomon Wilcots. And the spread, needless to say, favors the Denver Broncos. Not as much as I thought. Only 3 to 3.5 point spread for the Denver Broncos. Series history favors the Jacksonville Jaguars 5-4. Last meeting was 2013 in Denver. Broncos won that one going away 35-19. Last meeting in Jacksonville was 2010. The Jaguars actually won that game by a score of 24-17. And the Broncos have only won in Jacksonville once, and that was back in 2005. Denver won that one by a score of 20-7. And the Game Raider, you wonder where the Game Raider rated this matchup. It actually cracked the top 10. This game came in at number 10, if you can believe it. So, and I have a quick update from the Pac-12 championship. Washington has just added on to their lead. They now lead 24-7 in the third quarter. So keep an eye on that. That game's on Fox if you're looking for it. So that's all there is to say on that. So Denver, Jacksonville game coming in at number 10. I believe Bullock starts it off, and we have a very significant injury on the Denver Broncos side as their starting quarterback, Trevor Siemian, unfortunately will not be playing.
Yep, he is.
What's wrong with Siemian?
Yep, Trevor Siemian, he is out. Will not play in this game with that foot injury, and Paxton Lynch is going to get the start, his second ever start, and also wide receiver Benny Fowler is out with a knee injury, and the Jaguars got some injuries as well. I mean, tight end Julius Thomas with a back injury, he's listed as doubtful, so it looks like he's not going to be able to go. Wide receiver Alan Hearns, running back Chris Ivory with both with hamstring injuries, and Jared Odrick, the defensive end, with a shoulder injury. They're outs. So, I mean, yes, I mean you do have a second-year starter in Paxton Lynch going, but you still got Demaryius Thomas, you still got Emmanuel Sanders. I think they'll contribute here, make some big plays for them. You still, and of course, obviously, you got that defense led by Super Bowl 50 MVP Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. I think Denver will win this one. My final score, I'm going to say 20 to 13 is going to be my final score. So that's pretty much all I can say on it. So Florio, it is yours.
It might not be a surprise that the Jacksonville Jaguars have lost their past 8 games against teams that enter with winning records. The Denver Broncos are the only road favorite of the week, according to FPI. Remember when Michael Bullock and Michael Fletcher thought that the Jaguars were going to be good this year? One cannot stress it enough how bad of a coach Gus Bradley is and how bad of a job he has done, and particularly so this year. They will get to host an angry Denver club that lost a mess of a game at home in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs last Sunday night. This one convincingly. I got Denver winning it. I'm going to tweak Bullock's score just a smidge. 27-10 is my final score. I got Denver winning 27-10. Paxton Lynch. I think this is where Paxton Lynch can have a breakout game right here. I think he'll be fine despite having no Siemian. Devontae Booker, I think, will have a fine game on the running side, and of course the receiving core with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, it stinks that they lost Fowler because Fowler played a great game on that Sunday night against Kansas City. I mean, he had a great game. I'm going to be real honest with you. Out, but it's not going to matter. I mean, Denver, this is the perfect opponent for them to take out their frustrations on. Jacksonville's god awful. I mean, it's sad. It's sad for me to say it. This is one time I don't like to say it, but I told you I had that one. I was not convinced that Jacksonville's going to be good. I know Bullock and MF.
Well, I just thought with the way they played last season, I was expecting better things from them, and it's just disappointing. And I'll say it, they are my very disappointing team for the season because I was expecting bigger and better things from them after what I saw last season.
Well, with all due respect, Bullock, they're not the most.
I know you weren't buying into it, but somehow I just had that feeling.
If you want to talk about who's the most disappointing team in the NFL this year, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's not kid ourselves. They're the biggest disappointment this year. I mean, they had high expectations, and they're 3-7-1, could be 3-8-1.
And I'm going to go on the record as saying this: Marvin Lewis is done.
Not only is Marvin Lewis done, Bullock, but I think Gus Bradley is done as well. Let's be realistic. I think Bradley's going to get pink slipped as well, if I'm going to be real honest. And but I got Denver winning 27-10. I mean, I'm sure Bortles and Hearns and Robinson will have fine games, but it's not going to be enough against Denver. No way. So 27-10, Denver wins over Jacksonville. And how this game cracked the top 10 is beyond me, but it is what it is. So, all right, now we're moving on to our next game, and yeah, we definitely have quite a bit to get into here. Rams going up against the New England Patriots, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough. This game's going to be on Fox, and it's going to be on our Fox affiliate, Fox Providence. And on the call for Fox, it'll be Kevin Burkhardt with John Lynch and Pam Oliver. Foxborough for the Rams and the Patriots. Patriots, the biggest favorites of the week. That's not a big surprise. They're favored by 13.5 to 14.5 to beat the Rams. The series history favors the New England Patriots. I believe it was a 6-5 margin. I can be sure. Yes, 6-5 in favor of the New England Patriots. They've won the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Last meeting was 2012. This game was actually at Wembley Stadium in London, England. New England won going away 45-7. Last meeting in Foxborough was in 2008. The Patriots won that one 23-16. And last time the Rams won, they were the St. Louis Rams. That was 1. I remember that night very, very well. Rams won that one by a score of 24-17. That was going to be a precursor for one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. And that's when the Patriots' 4-game winning streak against the Rams started. Super Bowl 36. New Orleans. New England, a 2-touchdown underdog. And yet they found a way to win it 20-17 on a walk-off field goal by Adam Vinatieri as time expired. Patriots, their first ever Super Bowl championship. And yeah, that's the last time the Rams won in Foxborough. That was a Sunday night. That was the same night as the 2001 Survivor Series. Winner-take-all traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup with Team WWF against the Alliance. I'll never forget that. And I wasn't feeling good that night. I was very sick that night. I had a very bad stomach bug that night. I remember that very well. And so, yeah. So definitely a little trip down memory lane for you folks there. That was the last time they won overall in New England. That was the St. Louis Rams. Last time they won there was the Los Angeles Rams. Got to go back to 1989. That was a 24-20 win for the then LA Rams. And all meeting as New England and Los Angeles was 1992. That was in Los Angeles, and the Rams won 14-0. So, Game Rater. Where did the Game Rater rank this matchup between the Rams and the Patriots? Believe it or not, it came in at number 9. Number 9 for the Rams and the Patriots. If you didn't hear the big news, before I give you my thoughts, the big news of the week, which I know Michael Bullock will get into in a matter of moments with his injury report. An injury for the New England Patriots. Their superstar tight end, Rob Gronkowski, done for the season as he underwent his 3rd back surgery today. He is projected to miss the rest of the season. They say he'll probably narrowly miss the AFC Championship game should the Patriots get there. There is a small glimmer of hope, unless I'm hearing this incorrectly, a small glimmer of hope that he could be available for the Super Bowl, get that far. So let's keep an eye out for that. And I know Bullock will have much more on that in his injury report in just a minute. But first, let me give you my thoughts on this. This matchup should not be close. The New England Patriots have won the past 3 regular season matchups, 4 overall if you count the Super Bowl. 36. 108-45. Favors the Patriots by points. The largest advantage by any team in a game this season. Jeff Fisher is currently getting into a tiff with Rams legend Eric Dickerson that he will not be long for Los Angeles. And let's not forget that the Rams have now lost 6 out of their last 7 after that 3-1 start. And now they have to go cross-country to take on the Patriots in Foxborough, even without Gronk. New England is my lock of the week. 13, New England wins. They'll still have a fine game. Tom Brady coming off his 200th career win last Sunday against the Jets in a much more competitive game than we thought. They still found a way to get it done late. Tom Brady, he's going to have another big game, no doubt about it. Even though you don't have Gronk, you still have LeGarrette Blount. You still got Dion Lewis. You still got Julian Edelman. You still got Danny Amendola. Martellus Bennett's going to be stepping in now as their full he's going to be the tight end now going forward, even though he's been battling an injury bug himself. And there's a young man that you got to watch out for, a new young receiver that they have who had a huge game against the Jets last week. That's Malcolm Mitchell. You got to watch out for this young man. And I know Bullock's going to wax poetic on him, I'm sure. So, Jared Goff, I don't see him doing much of anything. Todd Gurley should have an okay game. Kenny Britt maybe have an okay game, but all New England all the time. They're my lock of the week, no doubt about this. 35-13, New England wins. Michael Bullock, let's bring you on in. I know you and all the Patriot Nation, I know your hearts are crushed right now because your superstar tight end, Rob Gronkowski, done for the year, another back surgery. And so how are your Patriots going to move on without Gronk, especially since they are one of the favorites to come out of the AFC to represent them in the Super Bowl?
Well, it's plain and simple, Florio. I mean, it's what they always go by. It's next man up. That's their mantra. I mean, somebody else has got to step up for them, and let's be quite honest. I mean, and their other mantra, it's not just about one guy. It's about the team. It's about a team effort, and it's going to take the team to rally together and continue this run, and of course to try to be the team that's going to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 51. So we'll wait and see how all that goes. But yeah, the big story, like you just mentioned, Gronk out for the season with that his third back surgery, and there are other injuries, of course. Matthew Slater with a foot injury, Martellus Bennett with an ankle injury, Tom Brady with a knee injury, Julian Edelman with a foot injury, Chris Hogan with a back injury. They're listed as questionable, but I expect them to play. And of course, for the Rams, of course, Tavon Austin with a chest injury, he's listed as doubtful. So that obviously looks like he's not going to be able to play in this game. And defensive end Robert Quinn with a concussion is listed as questionable. So, yeah, I mean, Malcolm Mitchell, I mean, their rookie receiver, I mean, he had a fine game against the Jets and made some big plays, and I've been impressed with him. And obviously, he's going to have to be a guy that really steps up for that Patriots offense. And other guys I expect to step up more is, of course, the running backs, not just LeGarrette Blount, but James White and Dion Lewis, who I think will make will catch some passes from the backfield. So, yeah, I think the Patriots offense will be fine without Gronk. I agree. Patriots win this one big. I'm gonna go 38-13 is gonna be my final score. So. Yeah, so there's really nothing more to say except, Floria, let's move on to our last 1 o'clock game.
And that game is the Detroit Lions going up against the New Orleans Saints at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. This game will be broadcast on Fox, and on the call for Fox, it will be Chris Myers with Rondé Barber and Jennifer Hale. And the spread actually favors, believe it or not, the New Orleans Saints. 5.5 to 7 points. An amazing spread for New Orleans. Series history, it's tied 11-11 with a tie. And that one tie came believe it or not, in their very first meeting, all the way back in 1968, they played to a 20-20 tie in Detroit. The Lions have won the last 2 meetings in this series, including last year, Detroit winning in New Orleans 35-27, their first win in New Orleans since the year 2000. Saints last beat the Lions 2011. That was a 31-17 win in the regular season. They actually would meet up again in the playoffs in the wild card round on a Saturday night in a wild card game, January of 2012, and the Saints won that one also, 45-28. So that's the last time the Saints won against the Lions overall. Game Rater rated this game at number 8. So, Michael Bullock, you started off. Detroit Lions, of course, coming off of that huge win against the Minnesota Vikings on Thanksgiving last Thursday, and the New Orleans Saints, of course, they've actually been playing some halfway decent ball as of late, and they're actually a 5.5 to 7 point favorite in the Superdome against Detroit. So Michael Bullock, a sleeper game of the week to say the very least. Definitely some NFC playoff implications in this one. So Detroit and New Orleans, our final 1 o'clock game, number 8 overall. Who do you like in this duel in the Dome?
All right, when it comes to the injury side, of course, started off with the Lions, of course. Wide receiver Marvin Jones with a thigh injury, linebacker DeAndre Levy with a knee injury, running back Theo Riddick with an ankle injury. They're listed as questionable. Meanwhile, for the New Orleans Saints, of course, the only big name, of course, running back Mark Ingram with a toe injury is listed as questionable. So, yeah, the Lions picked up a big win on Thanksgiving Day, beating the Minnesota Vikings, and of course, I mean, the Saints offense, what can you say about it? It's been really good. But this is a tough one to call, but because I mean the Saints play better at the in the Dome, I think I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints to win this one. I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be high scoring. I'm going to say 34-31. New Orleans wins it. I think Drew Brees will have a big game. Mark Ingram will have a big game as well, running the ball. And their wide receivers will make some big plays. So, yeah, I'm actually going with the Saints to win this one. I mean, would I be surprised if the Lions win? No, I wouldn't be. So, Florio, it is yours.
All 11 of the Detroit Lions games have been decided by 7 points or fewer. However, FPI favors the New Orleans Saints by 9 points, the second largest advantage of the week. The only minutes that matter for the Lions are the last, say 5 minutes of any game, because that is when they come alive and crank out close wins. They have won a lot of games on the tightrope, but I'm not so certain that will happen in the Big Easy. I don't think that they have that much of a suitable way to shut down the prolific New Orleans offense. So, like Michael Bullock said, he's got New Orleans. Bullock, I agree with you. I got New Orleans winning as well. My final score, 31-27, New Orleans over Detroit. The consensus on the Pigskin Pick'em agrees with you, 65% to 35%, favoring the New Orleans Saints. And why not? I mean, like I said, this is gonna be a high scoring game. This could be a 5-star game with Shakespearean drama. You got 2 great quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford and Drew Brees, who I think will have solid games both ways. And battling an injury, and Marvin Jones battling an injury. That could prove costly for the Lions, even though they've had ample time to rest because they last played on Thanksgiving. That big win against Minnesota at home, that last second win against Minnesota. And New Orleans, you got Drew Brees, you got Mark Ingram, and offense indeed that's been hot, that's been clicking on all cylinders in especially in New Orleans. So yeah, I definitely agree with that score. 31-27 to wins it. Before we move on, another update from the Pac-12 championship game. Washington has scored again, 31-7. Washington, with about 5.5 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah,
sorry, Michigan fans. You're not gonna get an upset on this night, I'm afraid. So
yeah, I mean
Washington.
Yeah, and I'll say right now, their only hope is for Florida to pull off a monumental upset over Alabama.
Well, not just Florida to pull off a monumental, epic upset of Florida tomorrow. They still have they can still hope for. They have two other hope. They have another hope. Like don't forget Clemson, as they're going to be going up against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, those are their only hopes. Florida pulling off a monumental upset of Alabama, and
not going to happen.
Virginia Tech pulling off an upset of Clemson. So, which obviously we both think those two, that ain't going to happen. So, unfortunately, it looks like unless those come to fruition, it looks like Michigan's going to be left out of the college football playoff.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I hate to. I know. I want to remain hopeful, but I hate to say it, but in the immoral words of Bad News Barrett to Michigan, to all the Michigan fans, sorry to do this to you, but if you think Michigan is going to make the college football playoff, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. You're not going to make the college football playoff because Alabama and Clemson are gonna win their respective games. Thank you very much.
Yep, I agree. You don't need any decorum. You already know that. So ask for decorum all you want. You ain't getting any. So that's all I can say on that. So that's pretty much it on that. So 31-7, Washington leading Colorado. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Game's on Fox. If you want to bother watching, at this point, why bother? That's all I can say. So unless you're a Washington fan, of course. So that's really all there is to say on that. So I pretty much I think I've said my piece. So with that being said, now we move on to the late afternoon games. This one will be at 4:05 on CBS, and it's going to be the Buffalo Bills going up against the Oakland Raiders at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, California. And on the call for CBS, it'll be Ian Eagle with Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn. And we're actually going to be getting this game on our CBS affiliate, WPRI 12. We're going to be having that game over on our end. Bear with me for a minute. Okay. Yeah, that game's on CBS. Like I said, Bills and Raiders. Okay. Are the favorite here. Not a surprise. They're a 3 to 3.5 point favorite against Buffalo. Series history favors the Oakland Raiders 20-17. Last meeting was 2014 in Oakland. The Raiders won that one 26-24. Last time the Buffalo Bills won at the Raiders was in 1991. That was when they were the Los Angeles Raiders. That was a 30-27 overtime win. The last time Buffalo won in Oakland against the Raiders, they did it. Not since 1966, though. 50 years since the Buffalo Bills last won in Oakland. That was a 31-10 final back in 1966. Buffalo came out of Oakland with a win. Overall, last was in 91, but that was when they were the Los Angeles Raiders, and that was when they were in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, as you know. in a 5-star game back in the Jim Kelly days. So, where did the Game Rater rank this matchup between the Bills and the Raiders? Believe it or not, this game came in at number 2. This is the number 2 game of the week, if you can believe it. Number 2 game of the week. Despite the Oakland Raiders having a better record, FPI views the Buffalo Bills as the stronger team moving forward. On a neutral field, the Bills are 1.4 points better, according to FPI. However, with the game in Oakland, FPI favors the Raiders by 2.8 points. Derek Carr did it again in rallying the Raiders late against the Panthers, despite suffering not 1 but 2 dislocated fingers earlier in the game. This team is rocking and rolling right now, and now they get to return home they get to stay home in the black hole. Buffalo has shown some more life after their bye, as they have won 2 games in a row. But as they travel out west, that winning streak will come to a conclusion here, I'm afraid. So, I don't think I have to go any further with my point. I got the Raiders winning this one. My final score, 31-21. Oakland defeats Buffalo. I know Michael Bullock should have some information about Derek Carr and his whereabouts. I'm sure he'll be good to go. And if that's the case, I'm expecting another huge game from Derek Carr. I think 11, another solid game. The receiving core with Michael Crabtree, Amari Cooper, and another brilliant young talent in Seth Roberts. I think they're going to all have big games. And I think the defense will get to Tyrod Taylor a little bit. And they'll get to Shady McCoy as well. And Sammy Watkins, I believe, will be playing for Buffalo as he's coming off of his nagging injury. So that's good news for Buffalo. But that's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. So as much as I want to see Buffalo win and in the AFC playoff picture, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, Buffalo fans, including myself and Jason Hixenbaugh. If we think the Buffalo Bills are going to go into the black hole and steal one against a white-hot Raider team, the hottest team in the AFC, not going to happen. No way. Not with Derek Carr playing as well as he is and the rest of that offensive unit playing dynamo as of late. So nothing left for me to say except give me the Oakland Raiders to beat the Buffalo Bills 31-21. So nothing left for me to say. So that's pretty much all I can say on it. So, Michael Bullock, can I have a little bit of some decorum, please? And the Oakland Raiders in the black hole. Buffalo has won 2 in a row against Cincinnati and last week just barely getting by Jacksonville. I cannot believe they barely got by. I'm not thinking they should have won handily, but they got the win, though. It's all that matters. But against a white-hot Raider team who's won, 5 in a row? You really think they're going to go into the black hole and steal one? I think not.
Yeah, I don't think so either. As far as the injury concern, quarterback Ronald Darby with a concussion, Percy Harvin with an illness, and wide receiver Robert Woods with a knee injury. They're listed as out. Tight end Charles Clay with a knee injury. Marcel Darius with an abdomen injury, Mike Gillislee with a hamstring injury, Richie Incognito with a neck injury, Samuel Watkins with a foot injury. They're listed as questionable, and Derek Carr's not even on the injury report, so he should be good and ready to go for Sunday. Michael Crabtree with an ankle injury and running back Latavius Murray with an ankle injury, and guard Kalechi Osemele with a knee injury, and linebacker Malcolm Smith with a hamstring injury. They're listed as questionable. So, yeah, the Raiders are the hottest team in the AFC. I mean, the Bills could give them some fits early on, but in the end, Raiders are just too good. I'm going to say 34-24, Oakland wins. So with that being said, Floria, let's just move on to our next game, which is the Redskins and the Cardinals.
Yep, we now go into our 425 games. We got 3 of them. This is the first one. Solid matchup here. A renewal of an old NFC East divisional rivalry. the Washington Redskins against the Arizona Cardinals. Like Bullock said, this game will be at University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And this game will be broadcast on Fox, as you know. And on the call for Fox, it will be the legendary Dick Stockton, along with Chris Spielman and Christina Pink. They will be in Arizona for the Redskins and the Cardinals. Cardinals, slight favorite. They're only 1 to 2 point favorites. It's a 1 to 2 point spread in favor of Arizona. Series history, it favors the Washington Redskins 74 to 45 with 2 ties. First tie was in 1933. They played to a scoreless tie. That was back when the Washington Redskins were actually known as the Boston Braves, believe it or not. And the other tie was in 1962, a 17-17 tie in St. Louis, back when the Cardinals were the St. Louis Cardinals. Not to be confused with, of course, with the baseball team. But last meeting was 2014. That game was in Arizona. The Cardinals won that one by a score of 30 to 20, snapping a long losing streak to the Washington Redskins, which I believe was an 8-game losing streak to the Redskins previously. 2014, that was the last meeting. Cardinals won 30-20. Last time the Redskins won in Arizona, got to go back to 2005. Redskins won that 17 to 13. I believe that was at the old Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Because I think University of Phoenix Stadium opened the following year. I think back in 2006. I think that was when that beautiful stadium opened. Game Rater. Where did the Game Rater rate this matchup? Number 6. Just missed the top 5. This game came in at number 6. Bullock, I believe you started off. So,
Yep.
Washington Redskins, Arizona Cardinals. Washington, of course, coming off of that tough loss to Dallas on Thanksgiving. And the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, man. Are you sure this was the same team that played in the NFC Championship game a year ago?
They don't look like that same team.
Nope, no way.
Yeah, of course, for the injury side, of course, tight end Jordan Reed with a shoulder injury. He's out. Defensive end Ricky Jean Francois with a knee injury is listed as questionable. As far as the Arizona Cardinals, safety Tyrann Mathieu with a shoulder injury is doubtful. So it looks like he's going to be out of this one. And wide receiver John Brown with an illness is listed as questionable. So, yeah, I mean, Redskins coming off a tough loss on Thanksgiving, and they actually hung in there with the Cowboys. I mean, got into a little bit of an offensive shootout, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. And Arizona, I mean, like we just said, they're not they don't look like that team that went to the NFC Championship game last year. So it's tough to say, but I mean, until I see something from Arizona on Sunday, I have to go with the Washington Redskins to win this one. My final score, I'm going to say 24-21. Redskins beat the Cardinals. Expect big games from Kirk Cousins and on the ground from Kelly. So there's really nothing more for me to say except give me the Redskins. So Florio, it's yours.
With a win, FPI gives the Washington Redskins a 69% chance of making the playoffs. Their playoff chances dropped to 34% with a loss. An Arizona Cardinals loss would virtually eliminate them from playoff contention, less than 1% chance. Arizona will have the defensive edge as well as the home field advantage in this matchup, and they are certainly in must-win territory if they want any chance of the playoffs. But frankly, after how they have looked in their last few games, I think they're essentially dead. Washington has not been that great on the road this season, but I'm going to go with them here. I agree with you, Bullock. I got the Washington Redskins winning this game. My final score, 24-20 in favor of the Washington Redskins. I know they're without Jordan Reed, but they still got Kirk Cousins. They still got Pierre Garçon. who's been dynamo, and of course you got a good running, a good solid running attack with Rob Kelly and Matt Jones. Carson Palmer should have a fine game. David Johnson, I think, will have a fine game, and Larry Fitzgerald in them. But I'm afraid the ship has sailed for the Arizona Cardinals, and until I see them looking like that team that we saw a year ago, that team that almost went to the Super Bowl, I got to go with the Washington Redskins, especially after how they hung with the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving in a 5-star game, chock full of Shakespearean drama, which you can never get enough of, especially on Thanksgiving Day. I'll take it. So really nothing left for me to say here. So 24-20, the Washington Redskins over the Arizona Cardinals. And now we move on to what Fox calls, of course, America's Game of the Week. And oh boy, what a matchup this is going to be. This is going to be a good one. The New York Giants going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. This game's on Fox, and if it's America's Game of the Week, you know who's working it. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews. They'll be at Heinz Field for the Giants and the Steelers. And believe it or not, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a 6 to 7 point favorite against the Giants, if you can believe that. 6 to 7 for Pittsburgh is the spread. Series history favors the New York Giants, and they actually have a long history. 44-29, 3 ties. First one was in 1940, a 10-10 tie in Pittsburgh. Second tie was in 1951, a 13-13 tie in Pittsburgh. And their last one was in 1966, a 34-34 tie in Pittsburgh. Last overall meeting was in 2012. That game was at MetLife Stadium in New York. The Steelers won that one 24-20. Last meeting in Pittsburgh was in 2008. The Giants came away with the win that day. That was a 21-14 final. And you're probably asking, when was the last time the Steelers won at home against the Giants? Believe it or not, you got to go all the way back to 1971. That's the last time the Steelers won at home against the Giants. 17-13 was the final score in favor of Pittsburgh. Game Raider, where did they rank this matchup? You would think maybe Game of the Week, but not quite. It's in the top 5, though. It came in at number 5. This is the number 5 game of the week. The New York Giants have won 6 straight games, and a win would give them a 95% chance of making the playoffs, according to FPI. However, the Pittsburgh Steelers are favored by 7 points, according to FPI, and are favored in 4 of their remaining 5 games. New York has been playing well of late and is in fine position for the postseason, but I think they are in line for a loss here. The Pittsburgh offense came alive in a big way in the Thanksgiving nightcap against Indianapolis, and I think that performance could give them the momentum they'll need to pull it out in the AFC North. So give me the Steelers here. I'm actually going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win, and the consensus even agrees with it. 69% to only 31% for the Giants. So I got Pittsburgh winning in what I think will be a 5-star classic of a game. Some of the finest Shakespearean drama you will see. Pittsburgh wins it. My final score, 30-27. 30-27, Pittsburgh wins. Ben Roethlisberger, huge game. Antonio Brown, huge game. He had on Thanksgiving 3 touchdown receptions against the Colts in that dud of a game on Thanksgiving night. The only blemish on Thanksgiving night. We had 2 great games earlier, but that Steeler-Colt game was not even close. But what do you expect when the Colts don't have Andrew Luck, for goodness sake? But Roethlisberger, big game. Antonio Brown, big game. Le'Veon Bell, big game. And for the Giants, of course, I do think Eli Manning will have a nice game. Odell Beckham Jr. will have a good game. Sterling Shepard, Victor Cruz. Running game needs some work, but other than that, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning what I think will be a 5-star game. 30-27. And if I'm going to be real honest with you, I know the Game Raider rated this game at number 5 and whatnot, but this, to me, I think is the game of the week, if I'm going to be real honest with you, considering the matchup and and the body of work of both of these teams. I just think this is the game of the week for me. I don't know how anybody else feels. So, Michael Bullock, let's bring you on in. I got Pittsburgh 30-27. So, Michael Bullock, Fox's America's game of the week. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews on it. Giants and Steelers, two very good teams. Boy, howdy, this should be a fun one.
Yeah, of course, this should be a really good one. When it comes to the injury report, guard Justin Pugh with a knee injury is listed as out. For the Steelers, of course, wide receiver Darius Haywood-Bay with a foot injury, and running back D'Angelo Williams with the knee injury, they're listed as out. So, yeah, still a couple parts of the Steelers' offense is going to be out, but yeah, the Giants. I mean, another team that's been on a roll. I mean, if this game was at Giant Stadium, I would have gone with, or MetLife Stadium, I should say. I would have gone with the Giants, but because this is in Pittsburgh, I have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to say 31-28 is going to be my final score. Ben Roethlisberger will have a solid game. Le'Veon Bell will have a solid game as well. We'll also see some big plays from Antonio Brown. So Eli Manning, I think, will play good as well. Expect some big plays from Odell Beckham Jr. to keep the team in the game. But either way, I got Pittsburgh winning this one as well. So there's really nothing more for me to say except let's move on to the last of our 425 matchups.
And this one will be on Fox as well. It'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers squaring off against the San Diego Chargers. Qualcomm Stadium, formerly Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Games on Fox, like I said, and on the call for Fox, it'll be another living legend, Sam Rosen. Of course, you know, the voice of the New York Rangers on the MSG network. Sam Rosen will be on the call with David Deal and Holly Saunders from the Golf Channel. They'll be in San Diego for the Bucks and the Chargers. And the Chargers, 3.5 to 4 point favorites in this one. Series history favors the San Diego Chargers by a count of 8-2. Last meeting was in 2012. And the Buccaneers actually won only their second meeting, only the second time they beat the Chargers all time in 2012 in Tampa Bay. Buccaneers won that one 34-24. Last meeting in San Diego was back in 2004. The Chargers won that one by a score of 31-24. The Buccaneers have only won in San Diego one time, and that was back in 1996. Tampa Bay won that game by a score of 25-17. Game Raider. Where did the Game Raider rank this matchup? It came in at number 11. Number 11 for the Bucks and the Chargers. And I believe Michael Bullock starts it off. So, Michael Bullock, another sleeper matchup here. Tampa Bay, you know, they came off of that. Tampa Bay as of late. They've won 2 in a row against the likes of Kansas City and Arrowhead and at home against Seattle. What?
Yeah, go figure. I mean, 2 big wins. I mean, going into Arrowhead and being the Chiefs, and then of course being the Seattle Seahawks at home. That's something right there. But for the Bucks, of course, center Evan Smith is out with a knee injury. Jacquizz Rodgers with a foot injury is listed as questionable, and Gerald McCoy with a foot injury is listed as questionable. Brandon Flowers, the cornerback for the Chargers, is out. So, yeah, I mean, who would have thunk that their 2 wins in a row would be for the Buccaneers would be at Kansas City and at home against Seattle. So, and the Chargers, of course, their struggles, of course, is documented, especially in the fourth quarter. So unless I see something from San Diego that makes me think they're going to win, I have to go with the with the hot team, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm gonna say 24-17 is gonna be my final score. So Mike Evans, I think, will have a solid game. Expect some big plays from Jameis Winston as well. So yeah, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this one. Florio, it's yours.
Another quick update from the Pac-12 championship game. Washington now leads Colorado 34-10. That game is now in the fourth quarter. So just wanted to give you a quick update on that. Getting back to this, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 4-1 on the road, despite being outscored by 4 points in their 5 games. The San Diego Chargers are favored by 7 points, according to FPI, and are favorites in all but one of their remaining games. A fun quarterback matchup of Jameis Winston and Phillip Rivers awaits us in San Diego and could mean a lot of points between these one playoff contender and one fringe playoff contender. Tampa Bay has cranked out 3 wins in a row to get right into the wild card hunt. But I'm sorry, Bullock, I got to respectfully disagree with you. I like San Diego here. Their defense is a little better, and I think Rivers can do just enough to get the win. And believe it or not, I have this as a high-scoring affair. Winning in this one, 35-31 is my final score in favor of the Chargers. The consensus on Pigskin Pick'em agrees with me. 62% to 38% in favor of San Diego. Yeah, I mean, Phillip Rivers, I think he's going to have a huge game here. I really do. The running game, Melvin Gordon needs some work, but I think he'll do okay. You still got Antonio Gates, and you still got a solid receiving core. And for Tampa Bay, I do think Jameis Winston will have a big game. I do think Doug Martin will have a fine game, and Mike Evans, and former Charger Vincent Jackson, who returns to San Diego for the first time in a visitor's uniform, because Vincent Jackson, a former Charger. But nonetheless, though, I mean, I like what I've seen from Tampa. I really have. I mean, especially those quality wins against Kansas City and Seattle. And it's because of that, Tampa Bay will be in the power rankings this time around. So watch out for Tampa Bay. Where are we going to have them? We'll just have to wait and find out in just a short. But I got to go with San Diego. I mean, a rare disagreement from me and Bullock, but I'm sorry, man. I got to go with San Diego. I think they're just the better team. And especially with the game being in San Diego and with their previous history against the Bucs, 8-2 all time, I got to go with San Diego to win. So 35-31, Chargers win over the Bucs. And now we move on to Sunday Night Football on NBC. It'll be the Carolina Panthers squaring off against the Seattle Seahawks, CenturyLink Field in Seattle. This game, of course, on NBC. And if you didn't see the game last night, he's back. Al Michaels. Al Michaels is back from his little sabbatical. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was sick or what the deal was, but I'm glad that Al Michaels was back in the fold last night with Chris Collinsworth. Michaels and Collinsworth, they'll be there. Michelle Tafoya will be there as well for the Panthers and the Seahawks. Spread favors Seattle 7 to 8.5 points in favor of the Seahawks. Series history also favors Seattle 5-3. Last meeting was last year. They met in Seattle, and Carolina won that game by a score of 27-23. And then they met again in the divisional playoff earlier this year, back in January of this year. Carolina won that game by a score of 31-24. Seahawks' last win against the Panthers overall in Seattle was the NFC divisional playoff the previous year. That was in Seattle, 31-17. Win at home against Carolina was 2010. That was a 31-14 win. So rank this matchup between Carolina and Seattle. This is the game of the week. Number 1, if you can believe it. This game came in at number 1 for game of the week. This is a matchup of the past 3 NFC champions. Lost the 2 meetings last season, including the playoffs. after winning the previous 5 meetings. The Carolina Panthers are a 6-point underdog according to FPI, their largest disadvantage in any game this season. They are in games, but the Panthers continue to blow games in the second half and in the fourth quarter, and thus their playoff dreams are all but dead. And in my opinion, expecting them to go to Seattle and take out the Seahawks on the road, especially after said Seahawks had a very disappointing loss in Tampa last Sunday. Yeah, you really think they're going to do that? No way. I got the Seattle Seahawks winning this game. My final score, I'm going to go 26-18, Seattle over Carolina. Russell Wilson's going to have a big game, I think. Thomas Rawls in the running game should be fine. The receiving core, Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, Jimmy Graham. I think they'll all have solid games. I think the Legion of Boom will get to Cam Newton a little bit and fluster that offense with Ted Ginn Jr. and Greg Olsen. And the running game with Whitaker and Stewart. I don't think they're going to be enough. So give me the Seattle Seahawks at home in front of the 12th man at CenturyLink Field. 26-18. Seattle wins. So Michael Bullock, let's get you back in. Carolina and Seattle, Sunday Night Football on NBC. It's needless to say, your reigning and defending NFC champs are in major trouble.
Oh yeah, they're definitely in trouble. I mean, their playoff hopes are looking pretty slim right now. I mean, when it comes to the injuries, of course, Luke Kuechly is still out with the concussion. For the Seahawks, of course, CJ Prosise with a shoulder injury. He's going to be out. Michael Bennett with a knee injury is listed as questionable. Luke Wilson, he's listed as questionable as well with a knee injury. So there's really nothing more to say. I mean, I got the Seahawks winning this one. I'm going to say 28-18 is going to be my final score. So Russell Wilson will have a solid game. There's really nothing more that really needs to be said. So with that being said, it's on to Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football on ESPN, like Bullock said. Our final game of the week, the Indianapolis Colts going up against the New York Jets, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Games on ESPN, like I said. Of course, on the call for ESPN, you know who it'll be. Sean McDonough with John Gruden and Lisa Salters. They will be at the Meadowlands for the Colts and the Jets. And let me just pull up the spread here. The spread favors the Indianapolis Colts, 1 to 2 point favorites in favor of Indy. Series history, 40-28 in favor of the Indianapolis Colts. Last meeting was last year. They met in Indianapolis, and the Jets actually won that game by a score of 20-7. Last meeting in New York was in 2012. Jets won that, and the Jets also won that one going away, 35-9. And last time the Colts beat the Jets in New York, got to go back to 2006. That was back when they were at the old Giants Stadium. That was a 31-28 final. That was a 5-star game. Huge. That was a very exciting game. I remember that one very well. 31-28. Indy won that one in New York. Game Rater rated this game at number 14. It's the second worst game of the week, only behind San Francisco and Chicago. San Francisco and Chicago, of course, the only game that actually came in worse than Indy and the Jets, which meant the Dallas-Minnesota game from last night came in at number 4. For those of you scoring at home. So I believe, Michael Bullock, you start this off. So Monday Night Football, the Indianapolis Colts going up against the New York Jets. Colts got smoked by the Steelers on Thanksgiving. And the Jets, hey, man, give them credit. I mean, they hung with your Patriots there, Bullock. But unfortunately, like the Patriots always do, your Patriots, like they always do, they found a way to win yet again. So I ask you, can the Colts get back on track, 1? And number 2, Is Andrew Luck back, or are we going to see Scott Tolzien under center one more time?
Well, I don't have the injury report when it comes for both teams because remember it is a Monday night game, so probably won't know until like tomorrow when if Andrew Luck's gonna play or not. But if he is, I think I think the Colts will win. But I mean the Jets hung around. I mean they made some plays, but to be quite honest, I mean you gotta give the Jets credit. I mean they hung around and gave the Patriots fits. I mean they always seem to do that when they face each other. So I think because of that, and it's because of the way the Colts just looked last week. I got to go with the New York Jets in this one. I mean, I'm just not sold on the on this Indianapolis Colts team. So I'm going to say 17-14 is going to be my final score. So Florio, I give it to you.
FPI favors the New York Jets by 4 points, their second largest advantage in any game this season. The Indianapolis Colts are FPI underdogs in every road game this season. Indianapolis's defense is so bad they might actually be able to make Ryan Fitzpatrick look good. In defense of Patrick and of the Jets, they did show some life and came close to upsetting the Patriots this past week in the Meadowlands, and yet to still lose that game had to have been deflating. I think Andrew Luck's going to play Bullock, and if that's the case, they're not going to have they will not have an answer for Andrew Luck, and therefore they will lose again. So until I hear Andrew Luck is out, I got to go with the Indianapolis Colts to bounce back against the Jets. I got to respectfully disagree with you, Bullock, one more time. I got the Colts winning 28-20 is my final score behind Andrew Luck. Frank Gore will have a solid game. T.Y. Hilton, Dante Moncrief will have solid games for the Colts. Fitzpatrick should have an okay game for the Jets. And Matt Forte probably have an okay game. Brandon Marshall, okay game. But if Andrew Luck is going for Indy, I got to go with them. And the consensus agrees. They like Indy. More than 3-1 favors the Colts to win that. So I got to go with the consensus. You know me. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. So I'll give the Jets credit. They hung in there against Bullock's Patriots, but the Patriots, of course, like they always do, they found a way to win, of course. So that doesn't surprise anybody. So that's pretty much all I can say on that. So final score for me, like I said, it's 28-20 in favor of the Indianapolis Colts. So with that being said, now we're going to move on to our power rankings for this week, and I'm going to be real honest with you. Looking at who I have in my rankings this week, I do have one noticeable dud, and this is a big dud if I'm going to be real honest with you. The Seattle Seahawks. I know we had them in the top 3 a week ago. We had them at number 3 last week. But after that very piss-poor performance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm sorry, Seabags. At least for this week, you're out. Take care of business against Carolina, and you do it in a decent manner, then maybe we'll put you back in next week. But Seattle, see ya. They're gone. Other than that, all the other teams from my previous week's rankings are all still in there. No doubt about it. So yeah. Let me get it started here. And I'm going to start it off at number 10. And my number 10, it was a tough loss for them, but I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to completely knock them out because, they lost very closely. but I think they still deserve to be in the rankings despite that tough loss. My number 10 is the Washington Redskins. Tough luck, 31-26 loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. They only lost by 5. I'm not going to fault them for that. So they go up against Arizona on Sunday. Next 2 games are going to be the next few games are on the road. They started it in Dallas and they lost. And now they go up against Arizona this Sunday. And then the following Sunday, they go to Philadelphia. They got Carolina coming in for a Monday night game on December 19th. And then on Christmas Eve, they go up against the Chicago Bears in Chicago. And then they end the year at home against the New York Giants, a game that could have major playoff implications come New Year's Day. So they're going to be without Jordan Reed, but I think they can beat the Arizona Cardinals even without him. So for right now, my number 10 is the Arizona Cardinals. The Washington Redskins, rather. It's been a long day for me. Sorry about that. So number 10, Washington Redskins. Michael Bullock, what says you?
I actually have a tie at number 10. The Redskins are one of them, and I'm actually going to keep the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be at least at number 10. The thing is, they're still in first place in their division, so I cannot really knock them out of the power rankings quite yet. But I'll tell you this right now: if they do lose this game against Carolina, then and only then I will knock them out of the rankings. So there's really nothing more to say. Redskins and the Seahawks, for now, are my number 10. So, Florio, let's move on to number 9.
Fair enough. Let me see. Who do I have at number 9? Yeah, I believe I have the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 9. Let me just double check that. Double check my numbers here. Yes. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers as my number 9. I'm going to keep them at number 9. I know they won. Don't get me wrong. I know they pulled out a win, but let's be realistic. It was against an Andrew Luckless Indianapolis Colts team. Yes, it was a nice win. It was an impressive win. They won 28-7, and Antonio Brown had 3 touchdown receptions and the whole 9 yards. But there's just some other teams that are just playing much better right now. Another team that I am going to punish this week because of a tough loss, but they didn't lose all that bad, and they lost in overtime. It wouldn't be fair to punish them all the way down to 9. So I got Pittsburgh still at number 9. They've won 2 in a row against the likes of Cleveland and Indianapolis, and they got a very tough game. They got a tough schedule ahead. They got the Giants coming in on Sunday. Then they got to go to Buffalo the following week, which will most definitely be a trap game for them. Then they got to go to Cincinnati for what is, for right now, a Sunday night game on December 18th. I got a feeling that's going to be flexed out, but we'll see what happens. And then Christmas afternoon, on Christmas Day, they got the Baltimore Ravens coming in for a special, for the first half of a special Christmas Sunday doubleheader. And then they end the year at home on New Year's Day against the Cleveland Browns. So 2 trap games. They got some tough games ahead, but we'll see what happens. But for right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are my number 9. So, Michael Bullock, who's your number 9?
Yeah, my number 9. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers as my number 9 as well. So there's really nothing more to be said. So let's move on to number 8.
And my number 8, I gotta go with them. I gotta go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the white hot Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have won 3 in a row and are right back in the mix as far as the NFC playoffs go. They're right in the thick of it. 14-5 over the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, unbelievable. Honestly, did not expect that. They've won 3 in a row. Granted, the first one was against the Chicago Bears. Too easy. But in the last 2 weeks, they go into Arrowhead, beat Kansas City, and then they win at home against Seattle. Unreal. Remaining schedule for them, they go up against San Diego on Sunday, and then they got the New Orleans Saints coming in the following week, and then a very tough game on December 18th when they have to go to Dallas against the Cowboys. And then on Christmas Eve, they're going to be going up against the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. And then they end the year at home on New Year's Day against Carolina. If they keep doing what they're doing, they could be a dark horse in the NFC. I really do. I mean, Jameis Winston's been playing very good. Doug Martin's been playing well. Mike Evans, who's been out of this world as of late. So there's really nothing left for me to say here. So they're on their way up. But they just have to keep on winning. And the more you win, the further you move up. But a loss will either knock them out if it's a decisive one. But if it's a close one, they'll probably be, on life support. So, but for right now, number 8, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, winners of 3 in a row. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, my number 8 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. So, Corey pretty much touched on it. So let's move on to number 7.
And my number 7, this is where I got to punish them. I got to go with the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, number 7 for me. Tough luck loss at home against the Kansas City Chiefs in an epic 5-star classic of a game last Sunday night. Shakespearean drama at its absolute finest. They lost 30-27 in overtime. And they're going to be without their quarterback, Trevor Siemian. Paxton Lynch is going to be getting the start when they go up against Jacksonville on Sunday, a game I think they can win, no question. And then they go into it. They have a trap game against Tennessee. Don't just assume they're going to roll over Tennessee because Tennessee is a solid team. So we'll keep an eye out for them. And then, of course, December the 18th, the AFC Championship game rematch with the New England Patriots at home. It's scheduled to be a 4:25 game, but there's a little bird telling me I wouldn't be surprised if that game ends up being flexed to the Sunday night game for that week. That's just me, though. And then Christmas night, they go up against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead, the second half of that Christmas doubleheader. Of course, the other game, Baltimore against Pittsburgh. And then they end the year at home against the Oakland Raiders on New Year's Day, a game that will most definitely have major implications in the AFC West. So no question about that. So,
actually, Florio, I think you stand corrected on that Ravens-Patriots game. It's actually a Monday night game.
Did I mention Ravens and Patriots? I just mentioned that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you did.
No, I did not. So
I thought you did.
I will in a minute though, because we're going to talk about the Patriots, obviously, because they're going to be high up there. So
sorry, it's been a long day for me as well.
Yeah, you ain't just whistling Dixie there, buddy. I'm right there with you as far as long day goes, but in a good way though. But for right now, I got to punish them. Denver Broncos dropped down to number 7. So Bullock, what says you when it comes to your number 7?
You had the Denver Broncos, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The Denver Broncos are my number 7 as well. So because I did look at the schedule, and when they do play, it's a late afternoon, but I do agree. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get flexed to Sunday night, which would be the second straight year that the Broncos and Patriots would be meeting on a Sunday night. We all remember what happened last year. So,
oh, do we?
Yeah, that was a 5-star classic, no doubt about it. So
in the snow on Thanksgiving weekend, who will ever forget it?
Oh yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on to number 6.
Fair enough. And at number 6, the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are my number 6. They're winners of 3 in a row, 7-4. They lead the NFC North. Oh man. They defeated the Minnesota Vikings on Thanksgiving Day. Very exciting game. You can make an argument that was a 5-star game as well. They won that 16-13. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. And man, what else is there to say? I mean, just incredible what this team's been doing. Leading in the NFC North. As of right now, they're on track to win their first NFC North Division title since 1993. Remaining schedule, though, it's a pretty tough one. They got to go to New Orleans against the Saints on Sunday. And then they have an easy game at home against the Dutch Chicago Bears on December 11th. They should win that one. But then their final 3 games after that, oh boy, not easy. They got to go to MetLife against the Giants on December 18th. And then on Monday Night Football, the day after Christmas, December 26th, they got to go to Jerry World against the red hot Dallas Cowboys. And then they end the year on New Year's Day at home, Packers. Needless to say, 4 of these next 5 games are going to be very tough for the Lions, and it's going to show them, and it's going to show us what they're made of. Game left against Chicago on December 11th, but at New Orleans, at the Giants, at Dallas, and then at home against Green Bay. Yikes. I would not want to be Detroit. That is a very tough schedule. But for right now, they're number 6. They've won 3 in a row. They're 7-4. We'll see what happens, but for right now, they're number 6. So, Michael Bullock, you're number 6.
Yeah, who would you have at number 6?
Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, that's who I have as my number 6 as well. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on up to the top 5.
Top 5 indeed, and my number 5, easy call here. They're back in the top 5. The Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are my number 5. They picked up a humongous win in Denver last Sunday night in that 5-star Shakespearean drama-laden game. They sit a game behind the Raiders in the AFC West. Humongous win for them. And you talk about Detroit having a tough schedule. Let's look at Kansas City's remaining schedule. They got a tough game against Atlanta in the Georgia Dome on Sunday. I don't think they can win that. And then, happy birthday, Bullock, because guess what's going to happen on your birthday, Thursday night, December the 8th? They got the Raiders coming into Arrowhead. How about that for a birthday present, buddy? Oh, yeah. Happy birthday to you,
yeah,
man.
One of the greatest rivalries in the AFC West.
On your birthday, man. So thank the NFL for actually giving you a halfway decent present for your birthday.
With a decent game on Thursday night.
A huge game. AFC West implications aplenty on that particular Thursday night in Arrowhead when the Raiders come into Kansas City. And then December 18, they got Tennessee coming in. And then on Christmas night, they got Denver coming in, and then they end the year on New Year's Day in San Diego against the Chargers. There could be some wild card implications in that one with the way the standings are going right now. So that's really all there is to say on that. So number 5, back in the top 5 after that demoralizing loss to Tampa. They responded in a big way with a big win against a very tough team in your reigning and defending Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. So, number 5, Kansas City Chiefs. Michael Bullock, agree or disagree with that?
My number 5 is the Kansas City Chiefs as well. I mean, I agree with you on everything that you mentioned about them. So, with that being said, let's move on to number 4. And I will actually start it off.
All right, go ahead. Who you got?
My number 4, I'm actually going to go with the New England Patriots as my number 4. I mean,
Hmm.
they did struggle a little bit in the game against the New York Jets that many people thought that they would have won easily, but hey, they still got the win. But I mean, it's like of what I've seen from the Patriots. I got some teams that are actually playing better than them. And I'll get into that with my number 3, and I actually have a tie at number 3 when I get to it. So my number 4, I gotta go with the Patriots. So Florio, it is yours.
Well, believe it or not, I respectfully disagree with you, Bullock. I actually have your Patriots just a smidgen higher. And that tie that you have at number 3, I have that same tie at number 4, and I know where you're going with it because I've got them at number 4. Both red hot teams right now at number 4. The first number 4, obviously, the New York Giants. And my other number 4, Michael Fletcher's Miami Dolphins. Both winners of 6 in a row. The Giants, we saw them easy win over the Cleveland Browns. What else is new? Cleveland's so god awful, it's not even funny. 13 easy win against the Browns. Giants remaining schedule goes as follows. Very tough games. They got a murderer's row schedule the rest of the way. They got to go to Pittsburgh against the Steelers on Sunday. And then they got to host the hottest team in the league right now, the Dallas Cowboys, on Sunday Night Football on December 11th. And then they got the Detroit Lions coming in for a trap game on December 18th. And then on Thursday, December 22nd, they got another tough game. They got to go to Philadelphia against the Eagles. And then they end the year on the road in Washington against the Redskins on New Year's Day. So that's a murderer's row schedule for Eli Manning and company. But we'll see how they respond to it in the weeks to come. They're the first number 4. And my other number 4, Michael Fletcher's Miami Dolphins. Winners of 6 in a row, 7-4. I mean, they barely got by the San Francisco 49ers, 31-24. Again, I think they should have won a little more convincingly, given how bad the Niners are. But then again, when you got Colin Kaepernick under center, what else is there to say? 6 in a row for Fletcher's Dolphins. I'll look at their remaining schedule. Very tough game against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore on Sunday. And then they got the Arizona Cardinals coming into Miami on December 11th. And then on a special Saturday night, December the 17th, they go to MetLife Stadium against the New York Jets for a special Saturday night game. And then on Christmas Eve, another trap game for them as they got to go up to Buffalo to take on my Bills. Me and Fletcher renew our Strictly Sports Buddy Bowl pleasantries. And then they end the year, of course, at home against Michael Bullock's New England Patriots at Hard Rock Stadium on New Year's Day. So that's a pretty steep schedule for Miami, but we'll see how they respond to it. So number 4s, the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins on my end. So move on to number 3. We go to the top 3 now. I started off, and my number 3, this is actually where I have the New England Patriots. 9-2. They've won 2 in a row. They're tied with the Oakland Raiders for the best record in the AFC. They lead the Dolphins by 2 games and the Bills by 3 games. Barely got by the Jets, 22-17. But the Patriots are still the Patriots, and that's why I have them at number 3. They take Seattle's spot after that piss-poor performance Seattle had against Tampa. They responded well after that tough loss to Seattle on November 13th. Wins against the Niners and the Jets. They're taking advantage of their soft schedule. They got another easy game coming up Sunday. They got the Los Angeles Rams coming in. They should win that one going away. And then following that, Monday Night Football at home, a trap game against the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be a tough game for them on December 12th. That's on a Monday night. And then December 18th, the AFC Championship rematch in Denver against the Broncos, which is currently scheduled for a 4:25 kickoff on CBS. I think it's going to get flexed, and I think that game is going to be the Sunday night game for that week. I'm just saying. And then Christmas Eve, they got the New York Jets coming in. That should be an easy win for them. And then the end of the year, of course, against Fletcher's Dolphins in Miami on New Year's Day. So very tough games ahead for some tough games ahead for the New England. They are taking advantage of that soft schedule over the last couple of weeks, and they got one more SAWFT opponent coming in, and that's the Los Angeles Rams. And they're going to make the Rams, and they're going to prove that there's only one word to describe the Los Angeles Rams. SAWFT. You know what that spells. Soft. What else is there to say? Number 3, New England Patriots. Michael Bullock, I already know who you have at number 3. You got that same tie, I'm sure, that I did at number 4. Just let us know who that is.
Yeah, it is the Giants and the Miami Dolphins. So that being said, I'm just going to move on to my number 2. In my number 2, it is the Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
The Raiders, of course, come off of a big win, of course, against the Carolina Panthers in a very good matchup, to say the very least. Derek Carr, I mean, another solid performance. So there's really nothing more to say about them. I mean, they're tied for the best record in the AFC and currently lead in the AFC West. So number 2 is the Oakland Raiders. So Florio, it's yours.
Yep, right there with you, Bullock. Oakland Raiders, number 2. 35-32 win over the Carolina Panthers in a 5-star classic shootout, Shakespearean drama at its finest. Looking at their remaining schedule, they got Buffalo coming in on Sunday. I think they can win that one, no question. Very tough game on Bullock's birthday, December the 8th, a Thursday night game at Kansas City and Arrowhead. Very tough game indeed. And then on December the 18th, they go to San Diego, another trap game against the Chargers, especially with that game being in San Diego. And then on Christmas Eve, they're going to be hosting the Indianapolis Colts. I think they can win that one, honestly. And then they end the year on New Year's Day in Denver against the Broncos, a game that could determine the AFC West. Although I think that Chief game in Arrowhead on December 8th on Bullock's birthday, I think that could be the determining factor in when it comes to who wins that division. So, but for right now, the Raiders are rolling, and I think they can keep their winning ways alive against my Bills. By the way, the Buffalo Bills are I forgot to mention they're my honorable mention. I would have put them in the rankings. The only reason I did not was because they barely got by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wanted to see a more decisive win. I didn't get it, and I'm sorry. Buffalo is still on the outside looking in. But if Buffalo goes into Oakland and beats the Raiders, they'll most definitely be in the rankings next week. So that's all I can say on that. So keep an eye out for Buffalo. So with that being said, it's on to number 1, and I think we already know who number 1 is. No, it's not the Cleveland Browns. It's the Dallas Cowboys. What else is there to say? I mean, Dallas Cowboys, number 1. We go by the previous week. Of course, it was Thanksgiving when they knocked off the Washington Redskins. They won again last night, Thursday night, against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. So I think we already know who's going to be number 1 next week. So they're going to be number 1 for at least the next 2 more weeks. They got 4 games left. And it's shaping up to be a halfway decent remaining schedule for Dallas, although their next game is a very, very tough game. It's going to be against the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium on Sunday Night Football, December 11th. That's the toughest game they have left, no question about it. And then they go home on December the 18th, and they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they can win that one. And then Monday Night Football on December 26th, the night after Christmas. They're going to be at home against the Detroit Lions. I think they can win that one. And then they have a trap game in Philadelphia on New Year's Day. But Man, oh man, this team just keeps finding ways to win. I mean, just unreal. They've won 11 in a row. They're one demoralizing 1-point loss to the Giants on opening day away from being undefeated, if you can believe it. 11-1, best team out there. Dak Prescott's playing out of this world. So is Ezekiel Elliott. Des Bryant's been playing well. Cole Beasley's been playing well. And the offensive line has just been tremendous. And what else is there to say? So, no question about it. Number one, with a bullet, yet again, it is the Dallas Cowboys, at least for this week and for next week as well, because of their win in Minnesota last night. So, nothing left for me to say. Michael Bullock, I already know who you have at number one. Just put us out of our misery, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, number one is the Dallas Cowboys. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's just put a bow on this edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday.
And why don't you start it off with our shout-outs, Bullock, and then I'll set it up. I'll set up the future content after that.
Yeah, and of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this, of course, Ridiculously Raw, or the Cerebral Smack Talk, of course. We thank you for all your support, and we thank you for tuning in here tonight. And of course, to our super fans, of course, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, and of course to Kevin Woodson and the rest of the Woodson family. And of course, to our friends from our high school days, you guys know who you are. And of course, to Michael Fletcher, of course, couldn't be with us with his work commitments, and to the Grand Poobah himself, Derek Ferreira, who couldn't be, of course, who continues his success on the sports blog. Of course, to our local personalities from 6, 10, and 12. Of course, excuse me. Of course, to our personalities from ESPN, NFL Network, NBA TV, MLB Network, NHL Network. Of course, to Status Sorrell and Lindsay McCormick, and of course, our friends from the Road Show. Of course, Mary. Of course, the former co-host Mary Larson and Megan Mooney. And of course, to the three current people: Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and Michaela Johnson. And here's a little reminder I wanna bring up to everybody. Of course, starting on December 4th, we're gonna have our Special Olympics Rhode Island online auction that goes from now till December 11th. Of course, we'll have our preview show on Channel 5 on OSN. It'll be on tomorrow night at 4 and 8 o'clock, and then it'll air again on next Saturday at 7:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. on those same channels. And of course, the online holiday auction. I mean, you can bid on a lot of good items. Of course, sports memorabilia, tickets to games, trips, getaways, all that good stuff. Of course, to go online and bid on those all the fine stuff, go to www.biddingforgood/Special Olympics RI. That's www.biddingforgood.com/Special Olympics RI. The bidding will open on Sunday, December 4th at 9 a.m. and will close on Sunday, December 11th at 10 p.m. And of course, all the proceeds from this auction will benefit the over 3,000 athletes with intellectual disabilities, and will support our Special Olympics Rhode Island's year-round program. So once again, that's www.biddingforgood.com/Special Olympics RI. So definitely get on there and bid on some fabulous items. So yeah, that's going to do it for me. So until later tonight for our TLC preview edition of the Wrestling Forum on Michael Fletcher's channel, Braves Fan 95. This is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Orchard Force style. Bye for now and enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. So, Florio, take us home.
Yeah, we'll do, Bullock. Special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our projects, whatever they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Special shout out to the first lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, D.D. Woodson, and her family, husband Kevin, and her children, the entire Woodson family. Special shout out to you guys, the first family of our show, of course. Of course, our other shout outs, of course, our other super fans and insiders, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway, and our other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, and Rob Parsons. Of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight because of his work commitments. I'm guessing that's what it was. And of course, Derek Ferreira. He's not on Sports Blog right now, Bullock. He's taking a leave of absence from Sports Blog because they're doing some remodeling on the site, I guess. So he's back to doing YouTube videos for right now, and he actually posted his TLC preview. And you can give that a check out. You can check that out on his YouTube channel, SLB 2008-09. Give it a whirl to see what he thinks about the upcoming event this Sunday night. And and then of course all of our personalities from channel 6, 10, and 12, ESPN, MLB Network, NHL Network, NFL Network, NBA TV, the whole 9 yards on that. Julie Alexandria, Olivia Harlan, Lindsay McCormick, Status Sorrell, our friends from the Road Show, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby and Michaela Johnson, along with former co-hosts Megan Mooney and Mary Larson. Two special shout outs I want to give. The first of which, congratulations are in order to our friend Crystal Tooney, who just got married this past weekend. Last weekend she got married, so we want to wish her the very best when it comes to that from all of us here at Strictly Sports. And my other special shout out, of course, you know where I'm going with it. My church family at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing some volunteer work for them tomorrow. Going to be going with them with their outreach tomorrow. So I'm definitely looking forward to helping out with that. Looking forward to that. It's the first time I've ever done an outreach, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Other events going on, of course, Sunday morning Bible study at 9 a.m. and then the Sunday service a little after 10. And then Wednesday nights at 7, another Bible study. Sunday afternoon, December the 18th, following Sunday service, they're going to be having a special Christmas fellowship luncheon. So if you want to come down to that, feel free. You're more than welcome to. They'll welcome you with open arms, just like they did with me. And then on Friday, December 23rd, a special Friday night service, a special Christmas candlelight service on Friday night, December 23rd. Looking forward to that as well. So very exciting things coming up at my church, Oasis of Grace Ministries in Providence, 464 Silver Spring Street. If you need a church home, check them out. Exit 25 off of Route 95. They'll take care of you. They've done some wonderful things for me, and very grateful to them and all they've done for me in the almost 2 years I've been going there. So, yeah. So that's it for that. Future content, of course. We'll next see you tomorrow night at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Bracefan 95, for our WWE TLC preview edition of the Wrestling Forum, and then come back to the same channel Sunday night following the event, as we will have our complete recap of TLC, and then come back here to my channel, the Tone 25, Monday night following Raw for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. We'll review Monday Night Raw as we continue on the road to the Roadblock End of the Line event, and then from there, my Tony's take on the premiere edition of 205 Live, as well as Impact Wrestling. Tuesday night, 10:30, Braves Fan 95. Once again, it'll be the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF and everybody. We will sort out all the fallout from TLC, review the fallout from that on SmackDown Live. And then MF will have his Mikey's Mindset with ROH, Lucha Underground, some other things. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it on here this time around. We had a lot of problems the other night, but hopefully we can get back on here on Tuesday night for that. And then next Friday night, NFL Friday, which will be headlined, of course, by that huge Sunday night football game with the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. Also, the Oakland Raiders against the Kansas City Chiefs. Two huge matchups to look forward to as part of our docket for next week. Well, we're going to recap the Raiders and Chiefs Thursday night, and then we'll talk about the Cowboys and the Giants at MetLife. Boy, howdy, that's going to be a fun one. So yeah, that pretty much puts the bow on this edition of NFL Friday. I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. So until tomorrow night for our TLC preview over on MF's channel, Bracefan 95, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, Derek Ferreira, and Didi Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Saturday. Enjoy all of the remaining championship week action. And before we sign off, we want to congratulate the Washington Huskies on winning the Pac-12 championship. They put away the Colorado Buffaloes in an absolute dud of a game, 41-10. The final score. So it's needless to say the Washington Huskies are on their way to the college football playoff. No question about it. We'll definitely see them on New Year's Eve. No doubt about it. So where we won't know that until Sunday afternoon for the college football playoff selection show. So check that out at high noon on Sundays. So now we'll sign off. Until our TLC preview, like I said, enjoy all the football tomorrow, the remaining games of championship week in college football, as that's winding down. So, and already unbelievable. So that's it. So until then, for now, until tomorrow night for our TLC preview edition of the Wrestling Forum over on MF's channel, Racefan 95, you've been watching Strictly Sports NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Florio, so long.